other things I did. I should perhaps be a little bit careful.
Define careful.
But you know it's going to be there. It's not going to catch you by surprise.
No. Welcome indeed to a sparkling Sydney Harbour for the second heat of the Australian 18-foot skiff championships. It's a glorious day, a cloudless sky, and we're going to have a very exciting race because there's a lot of crew changes. And we saw last week in a southerly, a strengthening sou'easter really, that Andu put a clear mark in the water, if you like, and with a very solid wind. But that was last week, and today the breeze is a lot different, a lot lighter. All the skiffs will be on their big rigs. I'm Peter Shipway, and firstly we'll go to Andrew Buckland for a brief overview of the weather, Andrew.
Well, it's hot, damned hot here in Sydney today. Probably over 30, the ambient air temperature. Water inside the harbour here, 25. High pressure saltpeter located 43 south. Do you know where that is?
I do.
Good, good. And for the viewers down near Hobart somewhere, bit unusual, but expectations of perhaps a very subdued 10-knot gradient nor'easter, and the water offshore probably up towards 28 degrees, which is fairly unprecedented, preventing any significant thermal gradient, and we will probably race the entire race in 8 to 10 would be the expectation.
Okay, well, Mick Ralph has been one of our early people to contact us, but I'm going to ask you the question, Andrew, but I don't want you to give the answer because we'll be here for 6 weeks. He wants to know what the water temperature is in Lord Howe Island. So we'll move on and say good afternoon to Jimmy Bury. And Jimmy, on our favourite, traditional, iconic course, whatever you call it, the #1 course. Just for those that might not be familiar with it, let's run through it from the start here in Double Bay.
G'day Shipper, yeah, we start down here near Clark Island. The skiffs work their way right up the harbour to the Beachel Buoy, around the Beachel Buoy, come running down, round Shark Island, down to the market Clark Island, work their way back up to the Beachel Buoy, and then it's just a straight run back down to Clark Island, and they work their way back up to the Beachel Buoy for the last time, down around Shark Island and to the finish just here off Double Bay.
Lovely, yeah. Well, the breeze trying to come in a little, but it's very light down here at the starting area. But let's look at some of the changes today that will certainly affect things. Firstly, we look at a new boat or new name. Your Name Wanted, or Your Name Here, or Sponsor Wanted, is now calling Vycobi. Sponsorship came in during the week, so Kirk Mitchell, Andrew Stevenson and Daniel Barnett have the name and secured a very good sponsor in Vycobi, and they finished third in the state titles, and they've been one of the big improvers this year. Yandu, that's Yandu, John Woody winning. He has succumbed to his hip problems, and it'll be a few weeks, if at all, this season we'll see before we see him again. He's waiting to see his specialist in early February to see whether he needs an operation that will probably rule him out for the rest of the season. But last week, Mick Lane steered Yandu to a very impressive second. And today, James Doran is stepping in on the wood to steer the Yandu. Doro, a colourful character, you could say, and he won the Australian titles in 2018, 2019, steering ASCO Appliances. Now, Mick Lane is not sailing today. The other important change in helming is on Finport Finance. John Harris, a former JJ winner, I think 2001 he won, or was it 2003? Doesn't really matter.
2001, Shipper.
Okay, 2001. So John comes aboard as skipper, and Keegan York, the normal skipper's moved to the sheet, and Phil Marshall remains in the bow. Andu, Sam Newton is away on business duties up in Thailand, so Harry Smith steps aboard in the bow of Andu with John Winning and Sebi Jarvin. And Big Pete Harris filled in last week very admirably for that boat. And I saw him on Thursday. He still could hardly walk. He was so tired, but they certainly got the job done in very impressive fashion. So they're the major changes. Harry Price is back on Rag and Famish. Bo Junk stood in for him last week and they finished 5th. So all in all, other than that, I think we're much as per program in previous weeks. But we'll talk about the cruise as we move on. But let's talk about last week in that freshening sou'easter. And we might just have a look at the moment at the results as they come up here, or the point score really was only one heat. And it was a very emphatic win in the end to Andu. Yandu was second. Vycobi was third. Balmain fourth. Rag and Famish fifth. Fisher Paykel, then Smeg sixth. Marine Outlet. Kitchen Maker Caesarstone, and the only other boat to finish was Burrawang. But the big but was Keegan York in Finport, the defending champion, put in a claim for redress as believes he was materially affected by a ferry on the second last leg, the run down to Robertson Point, when he was in third place chasing Andu and Yandu, and he filed for redress, and the committee addressed the problem. Here we go now. Well, just have a look at some footage of that's Finport with a white spinnaker on the left, Yandu on the right. Here's the ferry changing course to port. Finport, as I said on commentary, got a bit wobbly and got close to the ferry, or the ferry got close to them, and we'll see what happens in a moment. They got a bit shaky there. There's the ferry disappearing, and there's Finport getting into the bounce of the waves of the wake of the ferry, and over she went. And we thought, well, she didn't finish. She suffered some damage, but Keegan went for redress, claiming that the ferry interfered with them. And the jury ruled the request for redress from Finport is upheld, and redress is given to Finport, and Finport is to be scored the points equal to fourth place. The scores of all other boats are to remain unaffected. So there was some damage, and to Finport, I think we believe that one of the crew, perhaps Keegan, went through the mainsail and caused damage, and there was also some injury. So Andrew, would you like to pass any comment on any of that?
Well, I think having had a look at that footage for the first time, it's clear the ferry initially turns to port, and Finport also turning to port, so that was increasing the separation. Finport flapping the spinnaker to sail further away from the ferry, and then the ferry turns inexplicably to starboard. And I don't know what the separation was, but it wasn't very much. It might have been perhaps 10 metres or something like that, which under the coal rigs, of course, is not sufficient. And that ferry's going at 25 knots, and Finport also going at 25 knots. So easy for us to sit here and ponder, but pretty clearly the capsize was caused by probably a combination of the quarter wave and the prop wash. And Finport did everything more or less that they could. Arguably they could have flapped the spinnaker for longer, but in some ways it's better to be going faster when you hit the prop wash than slower, because you know, more attached flow over the rudder gives you greater control. So I think we can have a long discussion. I think personally, I think the redress was reasonable.
My only comment is that does it now open a can of worms for future races that ferries or boats get too close to the skiffs, that we're going to see a protest. But anyway, we move on.
Well, so Pete, I'll just give you, the harbour's becoming a little bit of a hair-raising place in some sense. Yesterday, we sailed the historic 18s. One of the boats got hit by a charter catamaran and damaged. We got a passing bit of action from, and I was sailing the Indies, we got a passing bit of action from a high-speed ferry, the same as the one that troubled Finport, and they went past us at 25 knots, less than 5 metres away. Well, if that's the standard of operations, things are a little amiss, aren't they?
Yeah, but it's always been thus on the harbour. It's a difficult place to sail at the best of times, but when you've got ferries and cruise boats. And anyway, as I say, we'll move on and let's concentrate on today's race in a beautiful sort of probably nor'easter that's trying to build, but probably won't get much over 10 knots. We've got some people tuning in already. We've got the Grizzly Bear, 1971. Cheers from Perth. Hello to you, Grizzly. Keith Staton. Well, it's so freaking cold up here next to the North Atlantic. Cheers to you. Cheers all. Well, get yourself down here, Keith. John F. Hello to the Camera Cat from Connecticut. Hope all is well in Sydney. Should be warmer than our Sunday series tomorrow. So Mick, Ralph, we've answered your question about Mika. He's not sailing today. We'll leave your question about the Lord Howe Island sea temperature for another day. Ralph Munro's with us again, hi from Macleay Island. And he congratulates the Sail Media team on the coverage of the 16s. Our friends from Hobart, hello to you. They've given the garden away to watch our sailing today. Nipper Henderson, he wants to know who's driving the ferry. Well, we'll move on, Nipper, I think, from that. So there, and we've got one, Gav M from Cebu City, the Philippines, and Keith Stanton again, brewer from Maryland. Anyway, welcome again. Love to hear from you and love to hear your comments as we concentrating now on the start. We've got about just under 7 minutes to go for the start here of the second heat of the National Championships. Today's race sponsor is the Burrawang Village Hotel in the beautiful Southern Highlands of New South Wales. It's about a bit over an hour south of Sydney, and it's a beautiful place. If you're down that way, call in and see my host down there at the Burrawang Village Hotel and tell them you know Andrew Buckland and they'll give you half-price beer. So there we go. So that's what they want. That's the promo today.
I think that's palpably untrue, Peter, but anyway.
Don't mix fiction with fact, Andrew. I've told you that 100 times. Anyway, there's the start boat. That's displaying the Vacaros flag. That's the timers used on these boats now to see whether they're over the starting line or not.
And we're pretty close to signals, yeah?
Yeah, we are. We're about 52 seconds away. We've got the breeze...
10. Call it 10, Pete.
Call it 10, not much more.
Yeah.
A tide is what? Slowly flooding?
A weak flood.
Yeah, a weak flood.
Weak flood. Be a nice day to sail today.
Yeah,
Great
and
day.
as we talk about Mick alone, there he is off to starboard on his father's big, lovely Beneteau, observing the goings-on. There's Smeg, Nathan McNamara, Jed Cruikshank and Jack Taylor. And last week they were finished in 7th place. So there's the city, a few little puffy clouds away to the northwest and perhaps the north, but nothing to affect the weather here. At least looks a bit stronger looking to up towards Bradley's Head at the moment, Andrew. There's Clark Island.
Just the usual amount of funnel.
Yep.
Just softer in double bay itself with the start line.
Okay, well, the famous 5 red flags go up to signal 5 minutes to go. Jeremy Whitty back on race officer duties aboard the committee boat.
Pete, just to the left of that shot, you got the rag and famish and all sorts of pickles.
Not sure what's going on there, Jimmy.
Wow, that'd be worth a shot. Yes. What are they trying to go upwind with a? Oh dear.
There's a rudder problem of some kind, I think, or the spinnaker sheets around the back of the boom. Or
yes, that is not a good start for the day for Harry, Josh McKnight, and Finn Rodowitz.
I believe Finn's on there for the rest of the season.
Yeah, I've got confirmation that is their lineup for the Giltman.
Well, they're going to be pushing it to get ready for this start that's now just over 4 minutes away. Second heat of the Australians, Sydney Harbour, in glorious conditions, a hot day, but the nor'easter's cooling things down for us on the water. There's the 4-minute hooter. A few skiffs still just running back downwind. They've been gone upwind to test their rigs, and so they should be in full mode going upwind here. It's the breeze really getting a really nice big sail breeze now. The Balmain Racing boys, a very good effort last week after they were recalled. They've been one of the big improvers this year. Henry Larkins, Finn Sprott and Brendan Jenkins. And they were, the Balmain company were the sponsors of the little sprint series. It was held on Friday evening, was won by the Beechel family.
More or less.
Yeah, they were first and second, and John Harris at the helm of Rag and Famish ended third. So Adam won. Did Adam win or Joel win? Adam was first on Yandu.
Yeah, Adam passed Joel on the last run of the last race.
Joel sailing Yandu was second as a 16-year-old. Very impressive performance, as you'd expect from a Beechel.
God, he looked comfortable in the boat, Pete. Incredible.
Yeah, good genes there, and I think it's not long before we'll maybe hopefully see him racing here on the harbour, which was made famous by his grandfather and great-grandfather.
Great-grandfather.
Racing up to the famous Beagle Boy, which they'll do today 3 times over, as we look now at about just under 2.5 minutes. Rag and Famish is still capsized, but they're slowly getting it up and hopefully have sorted that rather catastrophic problem they seem to have with the spinnaker sheet or whatever. So if they get the boat up, we'll just keep coming to the left. You'll see them very shortly. There they are. They're still not upright yet, but with just over 2 minutes to go, they should make it if there's no issues. But the harbour very clear now. There's a J70 regatta on as well. They've got away about 15 minutes ago, and they're up near their weather mark, up near Nielsen Park. So pretty clear runway. Now there's the overhead, and that's the checkered pin at the bottom of the screen.
And the Rag and Famish back to full operations.
Oh, that's good. That's great. We don't like to see anyone put out of action so early, or at any time really, but especially before the start. So where are we going to stack up here, Andrew?
Jimmy, where's the pin hiding? I can't quite...
We're right in transit with it.
Oh no, it's right through the under the Vacaris.
Yeah, okay.
Under the Vacaris
there's another boy down.
From our point of view.
There's another boy down there.
No, what's that?
Yeah, there's one there, but there's another. Anyway,
that's the Royal Sydney. There's the other.
There it is. That's us, is it?
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah. Okay. Cool. So we're just. Okay. Just.
I think you got to start at the pin peak. There's just more wind in the middle of the channel. You know, there's not enough wind.
Okay, a minute to go.
Not enough wind for full pressure at the committee boat end.
No.
There's enough wind for full pressure at the pin. So.
And in the middle to the pin, yeah. And that might get you to Bradley's a little bit quicker, and that's the name of the game. Again today.
The old adage, the first boat to Bradley's Head usually wins the race.
Yep.
Let's go. Let's see what happens.
Okay, just under 40 seconds to go. Smeg and Lazarus and Yandu and Burrawang up at the windward end. Then there's a big gap to the middle of the line. There's Lazarus and Yandu. There's Noakes down here. Noakes Red, Beck Hancock, Lindsay Stead, Brandon Bynick. And Andu just above them, then Balmain, and then Rag bailing out, getting out of there. He's trying to get down under Andu, perhaps. No. Geez, 7 seconds to go. He's going to be a bit late there, the Rag. Okay, there's a couple in the middle of the line look a bit advanced. Okay, we're away. Have we got any recalls? A couple in the middle certainly look well advanced. We've got one hooter. Yeah, we've got individual. We've got it. We think it's Finport. She was well advanced. Someone's going back.
Shore and Partners are going back.
Shore and Partners, Jimmy, correct. And Shore and Partners and Vacaris, we believe, are the two that were over. But anyway, we're away on the race to Bradley's. The only boat on port is the Rag and Famish. So he wants to get out to the right and clear his gas.
Wow. So Rag and Famish able to get on port, get across. The boat's starting at the boat end.
Yes, he did. So that would think there'd be advantage down the pin. But anyway, Shore and Partners has gone back. We're away, and beautiful 9 to 10 knots of nor'easterly breeze. And what are we hearing, Jimmy, from the committee boat?
They believe Finport was over. They're just actually going to watch our footage back to determine, and then they'll make the assessment from there. So it doesn't help us in our situation. But
no, anyway, we'll continue until we hear something official. Thank you, Jimmy.
Yeah, Shore and Partners did show up on the Vicara system as being over, but both the pin and the boat didn't say they were over.
Right, so a little early controversy, if you like, at the beginning of this second heat of the Nationals for the 18-footers on a beautiful afternoon on the harbour.
Sublime, Peter, I would say.
Well, interestingly, Rag and Famish has got across on port right into the western side of Point Piper, and he's really split away from the fleet. That's Harry Price, just having won the National Moth Championships in Hobart, just narrowly beating Otto Henry, and Rob Greenhow. It was very close right to the last race, but Harry Price was the victor. But here we go on the 18's now racing to Bradley's. It looks like Andu already is starting to step out a little, and he'll have a clear lane to come back on port as a big Manly ferry's going to come around Bradley's head, and another fast ferry behind him. This could cause a little bit of mayhem. Oh, Andu's stepped away very nicely. He's got a clear lead here on the pack that went out off the line on starboard. There's Andu across Finport, and it looks like the Royal Oak. There's the fast ferry. The Manly ferry is gone. Oh, the fast ferry, what's he doing? He's not going fast at the moment. He's got a wall of 18s
Just
coming at him.
Finport in front of him.
Yes.
Same ferry as last week.
Yeah, he is absolutely almost stopped now, which is all he could do, and that's probably the only thing he could do and a good thing to do. The 18s are now coming up to him. So there's Yandu just going across his stern. James Doran steering Yandu today in place of Woody winning. But it's certainly Andu that got the jump off the starting line and leads quite comfortably at the moment.
And Peter, looked like Andu was almost to within 1 second at the pin there.
Well, that's all you got to be.
Yeah,
Beautiful
exactly.
start.
Exactly.
For Ragan, there's Finport tacking right in on Bradley's.
Pretty ordinary tack.
Yeah, but John Harris steering Finport today for Keegan York. Not that much pressure here at Bradley's at the moment, but for the fans of Rag and Famish, she got absolutely hammered going into the hard right. She's got a long way to come back into this fleet now. Okay, now here come all the J70s coming downwind. These are the boats bouncing off Bradley's head now. There's Lazarus. And Andu has really opened up here. Harry Smith in the bow for Sam Newton with Sevi Jarvin and John winning. And here's an interesting go on Bradley's head.
God almighty.
Lazarus tacking a powerboat, not knowing what to do really. Got absolutely jammed in on the lighthouse at Bradley's, but anyway, all's
You
well.
think that person would know what they're doing, being Mr. Ian Brown?
Ian Brown, well, you would think he would know, but anyway, he got himself right in the corner there, that he's lucky to get out. But meanwhile, back at the ranch, Andu leads, but Finport has done okay by going right into Bradley's. I think what happened there, Andu saw the ferries coming and he bailed out early, so there was no interference there. Finport went right in, as did the Royal Oak Four Pines, Jacob Marks. So they would be possibly third. So looking down the fleet, it's Andu, Finport, Royal Oaks, then Balmain, Yandu, Vycobi. And then Rag and Famish has bailed out. She's gone hard right again, right into Shark Island. Andrew, what are you liking there or not liking? I'd say not liking at this early stage.
He's counting from the back of the fleet at the moment, mate.
He's hoping for a sou'easter.
Good luck with that, Hank.
Yeah. Anyway,
well.
So the incoming tide, not a great run, but nonetheless something to be considered.
So the fleets all come back together a bit, Pete.
They have, yep.
Because there's not any huge amount. The guy that finds a puff can climb the ladder, and the guy that finds a lull gets a bit of a snake. And wind pretty patchy. And the Vycobi doing a good job here. Look like they're getting towards podium level again. And they've got enough wind where they are. And sorry, viewers, to the east of Yandu, to be slightly inverted in the mainsail. So a little bit more pressure on the left edge here. Vycobi now. Royal Oak Four Pines also in the look at the podium type position.
Where the two do's, Andu and Yandu.
definite left-hand build here, so Ragged Famish might be 15th, Pete.
Yes, he's a long way back, but anyway, a long way to go. This is one of the longer courses. 3 long beats to windward. There's Lazarus by Kobe, Balmain boys, and Noakes Red having a pretty good day out.
Yeah, Noakes Red got out of the pack and got clean and got going, so great.
So there's Andrew just in Taylor Bay tacking, looking for the left-hander. And where's Finport? She went further out into the middle.
Way off in the distance.
Furthest right, Pete, against the shore at Nielsen Park there, against the ferry.
She's a long way in there, isn't she?
Yep. And probably is a bit of compression there, but I think it's turned left permanently a bit here, to be honest with you.
Finport looks okay way in the distance. We'll see her in a moment.
Yeah.
There she is, still on port tack, going into Steel Point.
But I think the left edge will pay all out the beat, mate. So we'd expect to see Andrew come back to the left, in fact, shortly.
And Jimmy, do we have any further confirmation from the committee vessel at all on
I'll
maybe
check back,
recalls that
I'll check
didn't
back
go
in
back?
with them shortly, mate. Just give
I
them
only,
a
I only
time.
saw Shaw and Partners go back. I think she's the only one, wasn't she?
Yeah, and Shaw and Partners wasn't over.
Wasn't over, right.
But the machine
dear. Oh, well.
kept them.
No, I think Finport's going to be pretty close to the lead here, Andrew.
Possibly.
Looking where we are, he's got them lined up. That Andrew's not going back on anything special. In the middle is Royal Oak Tax. There's Finport coming round his jib now.
Yeah.
John Harris steering the Finport today. It just and Yandu has closed right up on Andu.
So, Pete, it's a bit of a puzzle, isn't it?
Yeah.
Even for us, with all of the ability to look around, it's a tough day.
And what breeze we got here? We're lucky to be 8-9 knots here, isn't it? A couple of little puffs might be spiky, but
yeah,
nothing more.
8 to 10.
This is
8
the
to 10, a
yep.
bit of 11 maybe.
First beat of the second heat of the Australian Championships.
I would suggest to you that Yandu's coming into contention. How's that?
Yeah. Dozza, James Doran at the helm.
And that rig has been pretty good.
Well, they've been fast all year. He won
Yeah,
the
yeah.
state championship
Exactly.
with Woody, who could hardly walk.
Yeah.
Had to sort of carry him into the boat and carry him out. But
That's the thing from dogs who can hardly talk, but that's a different story. Sometimes. No, but they look comfortable, Pete.
yeah, well, I think Andu didn't like what he was seeing. Herman
and
winning.
As long as the breeze stays up at full pressure, I think they'll be pretty fast. Let's have a look at the rig, Jimmy, because they're generating plenty, aren't they?
We're talking Yandu now.
Yep.
Yeah, coming right into the point here. A chowder head.
And that's the
right
classic,
in. Yep.
the classic place right there. Oh, there is a reef there, boys.
No, that'd be right.
Yeah. Oh,
Clunk.
clunk, yeah.
Just
Like
see
that.
it.
Ask you, Stoddard.
You can
Yeah.
see the
Good left-hander.
overhead shot there.
Good left-hander. Good bit of pressure coming out of Clifton
And
Gardens.
fleet very spread out. So just looking at it, it's probably Finport leads from Andu and Yandu are quite close. Then
Yeah.
Noakes Red, the Royal Oak, Balmain.
But the tacking angles are quite wide, aren't they?
They are.
You know, there's nobody's. You'd expect that Yandu here, for example, coming up the cross on Andu, has made a small gain, being the left-hand-most bow.
Well, Yandu's got a dip here.
Yeah. So they've gained
Yandu.
a couple of outlets by being the left-hand-most bow. Pretty characteristic in this kind of hot day, Pete. So I'm looking for Andu to bang all the way in here.
It looks be
Less
good.
less adverse current, breeze a little further left.
It does look good pressure. He's
Yeah.
going into it, Chowder Bay. And here's Finport out in the middle of the harbour, so probably just a little bit more tight against him. But
Yep. So he's had to cross all of the current.
and Yandu,
Bow to bow with Andu, more or less.
Yandu is not far out of this.
Yep.
He's probably got to dip him just slightly, perhaps.
He does. So
There he goes. Yeah.
So out of all that, Pete, I'd expect Andu to be able to attack and cross.
Well, he's getting into more pressure, and it looks like could be heading pressure.
Yeah, exactly. Good, good 10 degrees bow down.
Herman, Sevi, and
great bit of wind though.
long, tall Harry Smith. Plenty of leverage there. These boys. At attack, are they? No, they keep going. I think there's pressure.
They'll stretch the friendship here, Pete.
Yeah. Yandu has kept going out into the middle.
And that will deliver them a small loss.
Yeah, you think so? Okay, we're on Andu, about to attack, I would think. 3,
just look at the shape
two,
of the path here.
1, let's go, boys, he says. Herman, through they go.
Right. And a beautiful tack, not quite enough weight on the wing. Sebi fell over, did he?
No, pretty good.
Wow.
He's a bit slower these days, Sevi. Takes it all in his stride, but anyway, there's the cross going to come up shortly. Andu and Finport. Finport's still across Andu. Oh, Finport's tacked to leeward.
So Andu's in this big left-hand puff here now. Watch this. With not a good tack, they've still come out probably even, yeah?
Yeah, but out in the middle, Yandu's coming back now on starboard. It's a good race for these top 3.
And it is the top 3. My goodness.
6th, the boat that's come back into it is Rag and Famish. I mean, he's still a long way off this leading group, but he's back at about 5th or 6th spot.
That's a big comeback.
A big comeback from where he was after this, about 10 minutes after the start. But the big loser here has been Yandu, I think.
Can't go up the middle, Pete.
No, the boat breeze has gone left. Don't forget, he just took the stern of both Finport and Andu. On his last tack in, he's dropped a huge amount here. Okay, Finport and Andu both at full wick going towards the Beashel buoy for the first time.
So a dead set loss there to...
And Yandu, he tacked under them big time.
80 metres. That's a lot.
Probably the Royal Oak 4 Pine could be 4th. Yeah, I think the left is now starting to pay big time. They're in the Western Channel, these 2 leaders.
And the breeze far enough left, they're not far off line.
No, that's correct. No, look at Finport, he's got some good height. Just trying to come around the bow of Andu. It's the Western Channel pile.
Yeah, long way left here, Pete. Look at it.
Yeah, it took a while to get solidly into the left-hand pressure, but they've got it now. Great race between these 2.
And both boats going through the water pretty fast, Pete, for the wind
nice,
speed.
both of them, yep. Some power boat just decides he'll go between them for fun.
So, Jimmy, that's a pretty quick beat. That tells you that it's not a true beat.
Yeah, no, it's definitely...
And not a big amount of wind. We're getting at the top mark in 16 minutes.
And there's Yandu's certainly not out of it. No, but he did drop a little.
Yeah.
But he's certainly close enough here to make this a really good encounter for these top 3 of Finport, Andu and Yandu. Probably Finport just getting his nose in front as he's coming around the bow of Andu.
Yandu looks like they're almost, like the body language suggests they're almost on a lay there.
Yeah, well, that'll make things interesting if they do. I think the other 2 will lay.
And the breeze a little softer up the top here.
Okay, we'll wait here and get them as they all come round the weather mark. I know a lot of people wanting to see where some of the back markers are, so we'll let you know where they are.
Below 2 strings now, the breeze
yeah,
here.
it's quite light. I was just going to say, just looking up to windward where we are towards Sydney Heads, it's, boy, lucky to be 7 or 8
I put the kiss of death on the Yandu.
Oh, yeah.
Big header.
No, you
Look at that. One band in.
You smashed them.
It's really got light.
No, but these guys are also squeezing. Finport thinks they can get to the mark. without attack if they sail high and slow.
Andu coming right up his exhaust pipe.
Yeah.
Yandu tacks.
Feel too much jib off on the
Finport will get round first. John Harris steering, just boat length ahead of Andu, and then another 20 seconds, 15 seconds to Yandu. James Doro.
And all jibe set.
And light air here.
They've got to go back to the pressure on the other edge. Feed her up, boys.
I don't know what Andu's doing. Are they jibing? No, are they? No, Andu's running away on port.
Yeah, I think he's gone the wrong way there, Pete.
Well, it's got light, isn't it? It's big.
6 knots, only 6 knots of wind on this edge.
Okay, James Doran's jibing on the Yandu. Looking further up, I was way left with pressure there. Yeah. And here comes the Royal Oak, 4 Pines.
Peter,
Jacob Marks, Alex Marinelli and Matt Doyle, they're around in 4th spot. Good job.
As well predicted by yourself.
Yeah, and then here comes the Cavalry. Next will be 6th, I think.
The Cavalry and the Cutlery.
Yeah.
So we'll have a look at Finport now. Sorry, viewers, off in right of screen downhill. Got back into the pressure.
Yeah, just see out right on the right hand with that white shooters. Anyway, 6th is around 5th. That makes sense.
Yep.
Followed closely by Kobe. Kirk Mitchell. Still up, consistently up there. And then I think, is it Noakes? Who's this one?
The Rag and Fanish.
Oh, the Rag, okay. He's come back into it, as we said. Oh, the Kitchen Maker's a bit overstood. She's coming certainly hot into this mark.
Very interesting run, Pete.
So Rag's around next. A little bit more breeze for the Kitchen Maker to get around. It's Lachlan Steele, Jerome Watson, Ben Kirkby. Next to come around is on the outside is Fisher Paykel, then Lazarus. On Fisher Paykel, we've got Jordan Gertis, Josh Fellman and Jacob Broom. We just got a message to say congratulations to Josh Fellman on Fisher Paykel. I assume means married to Francis Gresham on the 30th of December. So well done. Well done, as is a perennial race sponsor today, our favourite, the Burrawang, and Noakes Youth. Good job. And who we got next, Jimmy? We've got Shore and Partners. They went back at the start.
Then Smeg.
Okay, well, Smeg with Nathan McNamara steering. So all his family are watching here at Port Stephens as Nathan announced his engagement to Holly Pender. So congratulations, Nathan and Holly. All your family are watching keenly from Port Stephens. Well done.
And Marine Outlet,
John Balmain. And Balmain, gee, they
kiss of death on them before the start, Shippo, when we talked them up.
They didn't have a good beat there.
So, Jimmy, your licence has been cancelled, mate. You've sunk 2 in 10 minutes.
So the only boat still to come is the 18-footer bar and restaurant, I think. Jimmy, is that?
That is correct.
Right? Yeah, the breeze in the left here. That's a long starboard jibe before they tackle the next mark, which is Shark Island. So most of them are on the second leg of this course. This is just seeing the 18-footer bar and restaurant. Hugo Stoner going around. So when we last left them, Finport looked as though he made some good gains by jibe setting. Let's see how it's all panned out. There's the fleet now, and what's the breeze, Andrew? Oh, it's a bit more now.
Just at the top of the screen there, Pete, you've got Finport going the other side of that Manly ferry, going outbound.
So Finport just jibing now in the far distance. Yandu driving well earlier from the middle of the pack.
So you can see what this breeze is. Finport's gone almost into Taylor Bay before she jibes.
He's got a hot lane line, I would suggest.
Well, the breeze is a long way left. That's what's happened.
Yep.
A few boats starting. Fisher Paykel had to jibe. He would have run under a ferry there, which ferry has right of way. Carrying that diamond shape. Yeah. So Yandu's got a big march on Andu. And Yandu could easily lead down here.
Yeah, Finport's overcooked it, I think, Pete.
And Fisher Michael's got himself back to about 4th or 5th from where he was after the start. That's a very good effort. We've got Vykobi also in the mix. Kurt Mitchell. Yeah, Finport might have overcooked it, as you say. All it's starting to jibe now.
Yeah, Finport body language says that they're comfortable. Sort of.
There's Vykobi, Kirk Mitchell and crew Andrew Stevens and Daniel Barnett as we watch Fisher, Rag and Famish.
Don't know what your definition of comfortable is, Bucko. I'll be looking for a new lounge if I was you, looking at the Finport boys.
Their body language, well, I don't know how you look comfortable, but anyway, sitting back, having a cigarette, beer.
Lounging on the trapeze, Peter.
Lounging, okay.
Well,
yeah. Okay, you'll see them.
So, you know, the other guys are all VMG running.
Yeah, she's certainly wicked up the Fairport when we see her. Yeah. See her there, she is in the background. Just...
Oh, they're in full wick. They're in full wick, that is for sure. But in these boats, there's no bouncing.
No. So Yandu's got soft, Andu's got soft.
And a big gain over the Andu, about a minute, right?
So, from what looked a bit of a overlay from Finport, I think they've judged it pretty well.
Well, their low line judgment has been a bit shaky all year. But mostly they've been guilty of driving too early. They haven't made that
not today, no.
And have a look, Pete. Who leads?
Lovely. Finport.
And the other guys, they're all VMG running. Finport absolutely in full noise. Finport, as you can see, emerging from the leeward edge there, scraping the bricks. Classic stuff, Jimmy.
Very classic. It's,
a ley line jive, no more mucking around, boys.
No, they've got it nicely sliding down.
And I'll put the clock on in the corner, Pete.
To the east of Shark Island. Nice job, John Harris and Keegan and Phil Marshall that hold off the chasing pack. So Yandu's got himself very clearly into second spot. So the next jibe will be a bit tricky, so it'll probably be a bit fairly jibe early here, Andrew, wouldn't you? And this breeze in the left.
They'll just have a quick look at the shape of the wind shadow and make a decision.
Yeah.
But they look like they're going to go about halfway, which seems to pay usually in this kind of condition. There we go.
Yep.
Setting up, boys.
So
Nice.
Finport's through.
That's pretty conservative and probably close to the right answer. Andu in very VMG mode coming in here.
So just chatting to the committee, sorry, folks, and the committee's saying that Finport's over. Vicaris is saying they weren't over, and they're still watching our video footage after doing virtually a whole lap to make a decision.
Right. Okay, well, we won't cloud the issue any further. We'll tell you what we're seeing. Jimmy, just talk about James Doran here at the wheel of Yandu. He's been sailing Etchells this year.
Yeah, Etchells.
He won a couple of heats of the Nationals, I think. Or
he found his way into the Etchells,
yep.
Which when I seen Jay Doran on the score sheet, I couldn't quite picture Doz jumping into an Etchell, but he has done it and did quite well.
So, Pete, significant here. These guys taking the odds to the wind shadow. The leader's kind of gone away pretty comfortably.
Yeah. Andu jibed quickly.
Andu and Vykobi thinking that the angle's tight.
I think.
Which it is.
I would have done that, I think. But
you would have taken the wind shadow risk, Pete, would
yep.
you?
Yeah.
But have a look now, and off in the distance you can see Finport. Sorry,
She's
viewers.
hunting up, isn't she?
Hunting up, yeah.
So next around in 5th is Rag and Famish. A good recovery.
That is a good recovery from being deep. Sorry, Harry, I misidentified you a bit earlier, but Harry, Josh and Finn Rodowitz.
So Jimmy, sorry, just getting back to James Doran. Has he sailed a skiff this year at all? I don't think he has he? In 16? No?
No. He sailed in this fleet.
Yeah, he sailed here, but not in the 16s.
Oh, he's too big to be in the back of a 16 anymore.
Anyway, he needs to be big looking at Yandu. They've got all they can handle on this run at the moment. There's the Rag.
Pete, have a look now. The Yandu just hit the wind shadow there. Anyway, we're travelling with Rag and Famish.
Great shots. Look at this. Right in the action here with the Rag.
Pretty nice big sail breeze, really, isn't it?
So the Royal Oak is next in 6th spot.
Then the Kitchen Maker, Pete, they're having a blinder.
Kitchen Maker, Lazarus, 6th. Speg, Noakes Red, Shore and Partners, Marine Outlet. Further back is, just capsized. Oh no, they just saved it. Noakes Red, got a bit wobbly. Bring up the tails, the 18-footer bar and restaurant. So most boats now getting as quickly as they can on the starboard jibe, smoking down towards Clark Island with the second beat up to the Beachell Boy. The Rag hunting a bit of pressure. There's plenty for everyone down once they get clear.
So official word just in from the race committee, Pete, after one lap. Finport is OCS.
Right, so officially a disappointment for Finport. They've been ruled OCS over on the course side, which means they will be a DNF. Boy, it's disappointing. So you wonder, Jimmy, with the instrumentation they've now got, what happened, because it should have been red to show them that they were over.
Yeah, exactly.
Is that protestable? Probably not.
Didn't they change the rules?
No, they've changed the sailing instructions, but you can't
use that and break it on. Okay.
So Finport, pretty well judged run, Pete, into the bottom mark.
Yeah.
And nice dial up,
Yeah,
nice
well,
radius.
Finport leads on the water, but probably in the results it's Yandu.
Probably got a bit of bother in the committee room, I'd say.
Keegan's standard Wednesday booking at the
That's right.
to the 18 footers, is it?
Well, they had a bit of drama in the first two races, Finport, as Yandu goes round second, followed by Andu.
And pretty tidy from Yandu down that run.
And the fast coming Vycobi. He's right up
The exhaust pipe.
Yeah, of Yandu. Harry Smith working overtime to get that Spinnaker down. And Daniel Barnett similarly on the Vycobi. Oh, they dropped a bit early on the Vycobi. No, they just cleaned it up. So Andu is away around in third on the water, but probably second on the results. We're hearing that Finport, who leads, is been ruled at OCS. So he broke the start. So Vycobi third around, in third place, and then next Rag and Famish.
So they've sailed well too to get to where they were, from where they were to where they are now. A good effort. So the fleet would have learned something from that first beat, Pete, wouldn't they? I think you
Go left and stay hard left.
and if in doubt, go a bit further left.
Yeah. The breeze, what is the breeze? Lucky to be 8-9 knots here. There's a lot of disturbed air with all these J70s running downwind with spinnakers. And
Yeah, nice leaning back big sail, Pete.
yeah, once you get clear of this and get into Bradley's.
Yeah, getting close to 10, 11.
That's what everyone seems to be doing, taking a long starboard into Bradley's head. The tide's still coming in slowly. Royal Oak next around. And the Kitchen Maker making a good fist of it today.
Yeah, Darren, their sponsors down today. He's down at the club. I've seen him earlier on.
Okay, well, they'll be next. Then a bigger gaggle, led by Sixth. Then the Smeg with the white chute. Burrawang with the light teal. Okay, I'll go with teal. Then the red Shore and Partners. Noakes blue.
Noakes red.
Noakes red with the blue spinnaker.
Yep.
The Confusion. Marine Outlets there. Fisher Paykel. The orange spinnaker belongs to Balmain. And the yellow spinnaker is the tail end Charlie in 18-footer bar and restaurant. So the second of 3 beats. And after this beat's a run back down to Clark Island from whence they've just come. Pretty straightforward now. You just go long starboard, then keep heading back into the left, I would think.
Like, looking at that spinnaker of Fisher Paykel, do you think like they rounded in a reasonable position and managed to come backwards? Do you think it's a new spinnaker required there?
Well, love length is definitely not correct.
Yeah.
I mean, there's 2 issues. The spinnaker supply should fit the boat, but the crew should know enough to ease the hugget a little bit.
There's a bit of turmoil at the bottom, Mark. Oh, Burrawang's there. There's that Marine
Shore and
Outlet.
Partners.
Shore and Partners. Round the outside's Noakes red. In comes Lazarus.
So this one caused, Peter, by people trying to run square.
Yes, getting too high.
Not wanting to do too little jives.
Balmain's getting their nose in. They'll be next around.
The jousting stick championships.
Who's in there? Fisher Paykel's in. Ah, dear, Jordan Gertis. And then the 18-footer joins the party. You'll have to jibe and get around the mark. So we leave them and go back to the leading group. And that's the leader, as we believe, Yandu. Just breeze 8 knots, perhaps. Not quite as left down here as it was up at the top mark.
It's further right. It's a bit, the structure is a bit strange, a bit further right here down the bottom. But more pressure on left up the top.
Kirk Mitchell and Andrew Stevenson, former national cherub champions in a boat they built themselves. They won the title in Bunbury a few years ago. And Daniel Barnett continues the famous Barnett name on Sydney Harbour, an 18-foot skiff sailing. Really been an impressive outfit this season with this new boat. Took a little while to get things under control, but they certainly have stamped their authority on this fleet and really come out in the blocks in the last few races to ensure themselves a really good chance at this title, and of course leading into the big one at the end of the season, the JJs. But there's Andu, as usual, consistent, solid, good setup, good speed, nice bit of windward heel. Coming into some nice breeze here. The breeze looks a bit more left as they get further up the harbour or down the harbour. I think Andu will probably have a go back shortly and get into that left-hand side. Yeah, they've tacked now off camera by Kobe. Well, they're coming out to the right here. Just looking on the water, it probably doesn't look the way to go, but the breeze looks a little lighter.
There they go, Pete.
Yeah, they're going to go. Okay, off camera they're going. So all the leaders of Andu and by Kobe going back on starboard and coming into the pitches, Fisher Paykel. Boy, they've showed some speed.
Rag and Famish, don't you mean, Pete?
Sorry, Rag, sorry.
Off down the bottom mark.
Yeah, exactly. Just see if you're listening, Jimmy. So Rag and Famish, they're going to crossfire Kobe.
They are.
They're going to get themselves in a third spot.
That's just the price of getting too far right, I think, Pete. Because of the way the wind's structured in the bay here, the breeze is as hard left in this bay as it is in the next one. As you can see from the exhaust pipe of Finport, right up in the corner there with Andu as well.
Yeah, it's turned really to the left as they get further up into Taylor Bay. So Kobe now going back into the left. Rag and Famish. Well, he went right last time and got clobbered. So what's he going to do this time?
I think he's going back now. Yeah. Yeah, that was goal. And he sort of had to do that. He had to probably go past the big party barge a bit further upstream. Makes a big hole in the wind, that thing. Yeah, that thing there, yes.
So there's the Royal Oak and Four Pines, just behind Rag and Famish. Jacob Marks, Alex Marinelli and Matt Doyle. Again, consistently in the leading group. There's Yandu, the leader, way up in the middle of the harbour. Remembering that Finport, who probably leads on the water, was ruled OCS. So her day will end in disappointment. What we're seeing here, Andrew, is that Yandu went out in the middle of the harbour and Finport protected the left. And I think Yandu will be pretty close to being across him. If not, it'll be certainly a lot closer than they were at the leeward mark.
Yeah, well...
They're not going back on anything great.
But it's possible, as you can see, that there's less wind in this bay now than there was before, so...
Yandu will cross Finport.
Game of find the pressure. Pressure now back in the middle of the creek.
Oh, it's a big gain to Yandu.
Yeah, big gain. So that's lack of pressure on this edge in this bay. Too hot now, the water surface, I think, and the wind that's blown over the land is pretty heated up. We don't have air temperature here, do we, Jimmy? What have we got?
We don't have air temperature, mate.
It's hot.
It's hot.
Yeah.
So... Yandu and Finport lost out. Yandu, the big gain here.
So give credit to Rag and Famish. They've probably done the best. They're sniffing at the heels of Yandu now.
It's hard to get this right. It's
Pete,
tricky.
It's a good that we're not the technicians today, mate. I think we're declaring a day off. Public holiday early. You know.
He goes by Kobe for attack.
They're right in Taylor Bay as well. They were out in the middle and they went into the left. So, yeah, Rag and Famish will clearly cross them. You'll see them in a moment. Oh, maybe
not clearly. Not clearly.
Well, Kobe now got a bit of a left-hander that
so
they came looking for before, those other boats.
No, Rag's going to just cross them and stand into the pressure evident now on the left edge.
There's more coming around Chowder Head now as they get up towards Chowder Bay, Clifton Gardens.
You know, air temperature in the 30s here, and for the persons speaking in Fahrenheit tongues, it's up to in the high 80s Fahrenheit. Pretty warm day.
Okay, so the Rag tacks off.
Fairly conservative from the Rag, but good conservative, I think.
So Yandu, almost a similar course that he sailed last time. He's getting right in on Chowder Head between Taylor Bay and Chowder Bay. Got pressure and a real good lefty. Geez, opened up here, Yandu. Boy, oh boy.
Yeah, so anybody that dug back to the right at the Nielsen Park part of the ladder has gotten hammered.
He has showed them the way here, Doro, James Doran, with...
So how do you think of he going on board there, Jimmy? Doro with he hasn't never sailed, has he, with
Lewis Brake and
with Louis and Fang
Warren?
No, he hasn't, but or not to my knowledge anyway. But you know, those three, like, they have similar thinkings on their way that they want to do things. So, you know, like, it's if it does become Doz is the replacement there full time,
he's on a massive left-hander. You
Yeah.
probably can't see actually how high he is from that overhead shot, but we're right behind him and he's pointing at the Beachel Boy with a bit of... He probably will not because he gets further out, but at the moment he's made a huge gain.
a little bit of north-northwest
Well, Andrew's coming back. She couldn't join the dots there, poor old Herman. He got clobbered left and clobbered right, and now Rag and Famish is in front of him.
Sevy scratching his head.
Well, it's a day like that, isn't it?
Yeah.
A lot of scratching to do. But there's Yandu streaming ahead. State champion, and James Doran at the helm with Fang Warren and Lewis Brake. The boat's been in the top 2 or 3 in most races this year, with Woody and then Mick Lane last week, and now James Doran. There they are. See the streaks of pressure coming down, and they're standing out on port. They've got a massive lead. Finport just going through a few bounces, but hate to keep telling you, but if you've just joined us, Finport, although they're still racing, they've been ruled OCS or over at the start, so their position will not count in the point score. There's the red and blue oval of Yandu just leading the fleet. As we look at Rag and Famish, she's going to the right again. Now it's in the middle of the harbour. Nielsen Park in the background. The yacht. There's the Yandu. Around the Beachel Buoy and straight back down to the starting area at Clark Island. This is the second of 3 beats. It's going to be a massive lead, Andrew.
Gonzo, yes, indeed.
Yeah.
Gone.
Harry Price is lifting here. He won't want that. He needs something to get back on.
Well, you know, that breeze is slightly west and north, by my estimate, looking at our compass here. And if you can lay the Beachel Buoy from the eastern side of the Western Channel Pile, it's west and north. They're not quite laying, but close.
No, I think he'll be just under it, Yandu. But he's bounced right off Chowder Head to almost lane. Well, at the moment, if he can hold his height here, he's not going to be far off this. It's way in the left. Well, they've joined the dots magnificently.
He's lying easily, Pete.
Sorry?
He's lying easily.
Well, he is at the moment, yes.
Craig Sheets, brother.
The further he goes, the higher he gets.
Jockey Palmer Lewin. Let's go. But he's putting plenty in the bag because he's nervous about some easterly slant. But it can't be that bad, you know?
Not looking at the yachts up in front of him though, Bucko. He sort of suggests that it's...
Yeah, but he's overstood by...
Oh yeah, but after last time when he just missed it.
I know, I can't. I'm not saying there's anything wrong with it, but
It got fluky up last time, but the breeze looks a bit more consistent, as Jimmy was saying here.
Yeah, no,
at the weather mark.
there's more pressure and it's fairly stable north-west.
Oh, this is a walk in the park here for these boys. Absolutely streeted them. And really...
A reminder from our producer, Mr. Chittenden, that the opera's far from over. The fat lady's not even
what do you
in
do
the
here,
theatre.
Andrew? Job set?
Has to jibe, mate.
Okay, get your clock running, Andrew.
Yep.
Got your clock running, Andrew?
No, I don't.
Come on, quickly.
Jimmy, you'll have to help me out.
Into the jibe. Oh, a little bit of wake, but no issues.
But they'll almost be straight down at the bottom mark. So the race time's going to be short. Oh, and it's a nice whiny in the set.
No, she's out.
Off they go, though. Bow at the mark, Pete.
Perfect. And
I think the Rag's going to be second. Finport might get back there.
where did Andu end up in all of that?
Right over in Clifton Gardens.
Oh,
He's Clancy of the overlay, Peter.
well, it was so hard, that beat. You know, everywhere he went, he was on a knock. Went to get the lift and he knocked again, and anyway, the result is a massive gain to Yandu, who really put together a almost perfect beat to pounce off Chowderhead to lay the mark. You don't often see that, do you?
Like I
That
said,
shows
mate,
how far the breeze in the left.
and you know, he's not quite aiming at the bottom mark, but close to, isn't he?
Yeah.
So I think it's going to be a 2-minute 20 lead, Jimmy, about.
Coming up to just over a minute now, Bucko.
Oh, so it's only 120, okay.
Okay, well, so
So Finport's done not a bad job to salvage.
yeah, it's just purely academic for these boys, though. They probably don't know yet.
No.
They've been ruled over at the start. And don't get that, when you cross the finishing line, that dreaded feeling when you don't get the
hooter.
The hooter. Oh, there's not many worse feelings. But anyway, Rag now in second place on the point score table for today. They've made a terrific comeback, and here comes Andu, sheet sprung. There'll be about another. Oh, who's this coming up from Leeward as well? It's Vycobi.
Vycobi.
Yeah, they judged it pretty well.
Almost 2-minute gap there to the Rag and Famish from Yandu.
Okay. Well, I reckon that the fat lady is in the theatre building, but
It's just getting a parking validated.
Okay, well, here's Andu, just sprung sheets from quite a big overlay situation, but she was last week's winner. Jibing, as they were all doing. But looking further down, Yandu has had to heat up, so still a VMG runner. Vycobi next around. So the boat was formerly sponsor wanted, or your name here, and Vycobi have picked that up, and their name is there and in very good shape. And a little gap, and who we got next? Jimmy, the Royal Oak 4 Pines.
Royal Oak 4 Pines, then the Kitchen Maker is the next two riders on the course.
Kitchen Maker having a good day out.
Having a cracker of a day.
Jacob Marks, Alex Marinelli and Matt Doyle. And the Kitchen Maker with Lockie Steele, Jerome Watson, Ben Kirkby. It'll be about 7th. Just joined us. Yandu is being skippered by James Doran, a former national champion a few years back, with Fang Warren and Lewis Brake, and John Woody Winnings out of action for maybe the remainder of the season, but that's in the doctor's hands at the moment. Good little battle here for 3, 4, 5.
Just in the right of the screen there, way off in the distance is Yandu. Gone.
Well, this is a real good battle. But also remember the Rag, she was capsized just before the start, wasn't she? So they've had a massive recovery today.
no, it's a sign of a good outfit though, Pete, isn't it? They went the wrong way at the beat as well and then clawed their way back. And to some degree, that's what you expect to happen when, you know, that's a well sorted outfit and they get the clues, they're able to discern some part of the correct answer by watching the boats in front of them when they get back to about 6. So they inevitably claw back towards the podium.
Well, I think Andu will have learned the lessons the hard way up that beat to see if he can get the dots joined this time.
Yeah, well, Vycobi's about to try and take a bite out of it.
They're certainly fast enough, Andu, but it's just such a tricky beat with some massive shifts. But Vycobi trying to roll over him and getting up on his hip here, but well, the breeze is now lifting them, so it's gone a bit back to the right here. Way in the distance is Yandu. You just see that blue and red oval off Bradley's Head. There's Finport. It's a lovely, pleasant run here at about a 10 knot nor'easter. Or northerly. Well, I think it's gone back a little bit to the nor'east here.
But it's definitely a mixture of two strokes.
There's the race leader at the Bradley's Head fairway boy, just jibing. A few more jibes left yet to get down to this fluid mark at Clark Island, then the final beat up, and then the run to Shark, and then the run to the finish. But still a lot of racing to do. But this lead is absolutely comprehensive at the moment. Picture perfect day on the harbour. Wow. He won't want to go too much further here. Looks quite light ahead of him. No, there's jibing now on Bradley's.
So the breeze actually now funneling to some degree. A little more east in it here down in this part of the harbour. And I can still think of this north, west a little at the top, on the left edge. So it's probably about 60 degrees change in wind direction on the racetrack.
Rather significant, you'd say. But now they're getting a lovely bit of pressure as they approach the leeward mark here, Yandu. Just a casual run down here, nothing too extreme. No. So he'll have one and in here. So he's have about 100 metres back on starboard.
I think he's just getting enough room for a giant drop, Pete.
Looks like it.
Yeah. So he's judged it pretty well, but as ever,
he's trying to get the bow down a little to shorten the distance. Yeah, he's just got a nice gust to get down. Yeah, that's the manoeuvre, I think. Mark coming into view in a moment. There it is, yep. Jibe drop.
Give Louis a little bit of extra time.
Doz isn't normally that nice to bowman.
Come on, he's doing a pretty good job here today, Jimmy. He's really on fire.
The amount of times I've started with him and we jibe drop right on the mark and
puts you under pressure, as you're trying to say. Yeah,
that's a pretty good manoeuvre. Nice radius, you know, nice and conservative on the drop.
Done everything pretty well today. It started well.
Well judged.
The first two all the day, really, and now they're extending this lead massively.
The rich got richer, Pete, down their run. Not sure why, but they have.
Breezes waiting here. There's no one. The next boat's at Bradley's and at Shark Island. Might as well go join the dots.
Yeah, well, Rag and Famish looks as though he's got himself into second. Gee, but Kobe went right into Shark Island. He rolled a dice there.
And ran out of wind.
Doesn't look too good.
No.
The breeze is lifting him. Oh, he's been the big loser here by Kobe, off screen at the moment. These boats here coming off Bradley's look like the right way to go. Well, Kirk Mitchell's really bombed out there, unfortunately. Like Kobe has dropped back to second, third, fourth, fifth, maybe sixth with that rather gutsy manoeuvre.
A courageous decision.
Well,
So
I'd love to have their time again, wouldn't they?
Yep. They're just ahead of the kitchen maker. I think the Royal Oak 4 Pines will be in front of them. But here's the rag. Famish, Harry Price.
Yeah, so they're lying comfortably down, these guys.
Wait for the.
Just got that sort of good puff that Yandu got as they approached the leeward mark. There's the rag. We'll see Yandu in a moment. She's starting to get wicked up. That's like Kobe there, trying to get himself out of jail somewhat. He was right with those others. He's with, I think, Andu at the weather mark. Now Andu's, wow, gone. He's 3 or 4 minutes ahead of him.
Rag and Famish just round the bottom mark now. Nandu just jive dropping.
Okay. Like Kobe's still about 300 or 400 metres from that mark. Royal Oak has jumped in front of him. There we go. So we've still got a little flow of tide in, Andrew, have we?
Yeah. All race flooding. All race flooding.
It's only a 0.6 of a tide anyway, Shibbo, so it wouldn't be much water movement and such.
Just talking about water movement, I don't know if we can see it on camera, but smoke going up here is pushing Bondi Beach. Oh, it's right me big. Hang on, here. We're almost capsizing on the Canberra Cat. There's the bulk of the fleet vying for about 6th, 7th and 8th, or the top 10 are all closely grouped. Marine Outlet leads that group with a big tear in his spinnaker. Balmain, Smeg, 6th. Shore and Partners, the Burrawang. Further back is Lazarus. Fisher Pikel, and where's Noakes Red? Do we see them, Jimmy? Oh, they're way back, yep. They're probably bringing up the tail. Shore and Partners, Emma Rankin, Cam McDonald and Tom Quigley. Now, when we get round to the leader, she's got to negotiate a big powerboat weight and a ferry that's inbound, but she'll be across the ferry. Not much pressure here. Andrew again.
Yeah, she's lifted off a little bit, hasn't it? So
just at the eastern side of Bradley's Head here, going into Taylor Bay. One of these fools of bloody speedboats goes spinning round the harbour. Of course, going to windward of them. That's the way, boys.
Wow. Ridiculous.
Bondi Beach awaits Yandu. Here they go. Up, down. More to come, boys. That's the good news.
Yeah, he just had to try and wait that one out, didn't he?
Yeah.
Try and figure out when and where to attack and all this wash is unbelievable.
Gotten light again. I think the ferries and powerboats have chopped it up a fair bit. She's standing out now. She's going to run into a bit more breeze. But still not a lot.
Yep, turn back into a game and find the wind, which I still suspect is on the left edge a bit further up. So
seems to be at Clifton Gardens, Chowder Bay, doesn't it, in the left?
Yep. Got to get there first, though, and just enough wind here travelling with Yandu. Just 3 strings, not quite 3 strings.
Oh, he's going to have another go at it here. Oh,
no, he's just in
it's
light
going
air.
Yeah. Light air and waves.
But Jimmy, they would be pretty heavy now, wouldn't they? That'd be 300, yeah?
Well, you can take it up with them, Bucko. You go find out for us, and if you come back in one piece, we know you're right.
Well, I'm rating Mr. Doran at 90, and Sang at 90, and Louis at 105. It's not quite 300.
I'm not getting you to measure anything around my house, Bucko.
But you know what I mean? But that's being polite, you see. So add 5 to each one.
What do you mean the carpet's too short?
Yeah.
Well, she's going out looking for wind, I think, more than anything at the moment. She's tacking,
As I said, it's going to find the wind out, Pete.
Yeah.
And I
Snakes red on screen.
I think if in doubt, you have to go back to the left edge. Wow.
Out off Taylor Bay and probably halfway up the final beat. And they're under no threat at all, really, unless they really stub their toe, or all 10 of them, really, I think. It's going to go back into...
I think you'd have to have your feet chopped off, Pete, to lose it from there.
Jimmy, you've sunk enough boats today.
I didn't sink them.
Is that right?
Where's the rag now, mate?
Yeah, so Pete, looking at that, the Yandu standing now into what we'd regard as a little more pressure than the guys behind him are in.
Well, it's very similar to the course he sailed last beat when he opened up that massive lead. So he'll go right in there to Chowder Head, look for the left-hander, and that left-hander took him right to the weather mark, the Vishal Boy, the last time. Whether there's that much left in it now, I don't know, but that's what he's going to try and find out.
Combination of angle and pressure.
Yeah. Meanwhile, back at the ranch, we've got Fisher, Rag and Famish is across Andu. That's the battle for second. And the Royal Oak Four Pines would be fourth. It's light here too.
Well, the Rag just 3 strings, so...
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think they've a little bit more pressure than the Yandu had.
Definitely a lot less wake.
Yes.
What do you think the weight of the Rag and Famish is, Bucko?
Not that heavy.
So Andu decided to split. Herman winning, Sevi Jarvin and Harry Smith today. They've gone out towards Shark Island looking for a right-hander. Well, Rag, who went right early, the first beat, have gone left this beat. So they're just doing their best to hold on to second place here, the Rag. Doing a pretty good job.
Oh yeah, but
We don't know.
they're in front of Finport. They don't, you know, on the water.
I'm just wondering if anyone knows that Finport were over. And there's Yandu in the background on that left-hander again.
Yeah, good pressure at Chowder.
Yeah, he's gone looking for it. It looks as though he's got it. Yeah, he's standing up high again. Almost a replica of the second beat. I'm sure Harry Price here on the rag can see what's happening out there. Just a bit more breeze coming round Chowder Head. Andu is right at the lighthouse at Shark Island, so talk about a split. Okay, as the rag tacks. Still hasn't got the left hand that Yandu's got. But he's got pressure. You can just see Finport around his bow. Even further to the left, much further to the left off camera is Andu. There he is, there's Andu. Going across between Shark Island and in Rose Bay. Well, that's a roll of the dice for Andu.
Well, we've run out of dices.
Yeah. Yeah, I think Rag has seen what Yandu has done the last two beats and trying to replicate that to get the left-hand pressure off Chowder Head.
Definitely the best pressure here.
Way in the distance is Yandu, the leader, getting close to the weather mark. He's gone further ahead.
The fat lady's walling up.
Well, that's
Yandu just tacking back over onto starboard.
right,
Nice
okay,
shot.
so she obviously didn't have the line that she got previous beat, because she's come shortening up a bit to stay in that left-hand pressure.
Finport and Andu not on the screen, but they're just under steel point. Both look soft. They're both just tacked, but very soft.
Well, we'll see what happens when they converge with the Rag, who's got some good pressure here. Just need to click a little left. But no, nothing magical there.
No.
So Yandu's gone back for a bit more on port. Just see the streaks of pressure coming down the harbour. This breeze is lucky to be 8 knots here. She's off Chowder Bay, Yandu. There's Finport and Andu, both now on starboard.
So Pete, the Rag here now in about 10 knots of wind and enjoying it, I think you'll find.
As breeze has dropped off Yandu, look at his just guys sitting in there now. Just trying to wriggle his way up to the weather mark. It hasn't got left up here for him this time, Andrew.
Well, let's see.
It was early on, it was left, but he's gone back now.
Let's see what Reagan Tamish does.
Yep.
Because in between the white light and the point, the Western Channel Pole light, there is more wind. So I think you have to go to a slightly overstood position on the windward mark is the optimum course here.
So Yandu's got a bit of a wriggle on now. He's got the pressure again.
Yeah. But you got to come back on starboard to the mark. I mean, Pete, looking out to the left of us, a bit of 12 knots.
Yeah, best breeze we've seen all day here at Clifton Gardens, where we are on the Camera Cat.
Pretty good left and super pressure. Yeah, only how many minutes in arrears, Chits?
There's Andu and Finport. Have a ding-dong battle, but all for nothing for Finport.
Oh, it's terrible, isn't it?
There's Yandu. Just bent legs on the crew there. It's nothing extreme, that wind. Probably Rag and Famish got a bit more out in the middle here. They're fully extended, but not fully let back. So she probably closed up a little here, the Rag, on Yandu, but Yandu's got so much up her sleeve. She's got...
Not on screen, Pete, but Vycobi and Andu. I think Vycobi may have a big piece of Andu. We get the...
Well, that's a good comeback if that's the
They've
case.
just had to duck them.
Duck them, okay. Well,
Wow.
that is a big comeback because they were together at the windward mark the last time, and Vycobi got the run terribly wrong, and Andu was about 200 or 300 metres ahead. But this is such a tricky day. It hasn't stabilised into the nor'east by any means.
No.
I think it's
the absolute reverse of that.
so hot on the land.
Yeah.
So Yandu's struggling to get up to this weather mark. That's the mark there, just that yellow boy above him. That's where he's going for. He's got 2 more tacks. There's the first of the 2. Rag and Famish rumbling out in the middle of the harbour. So I think you've got a jibe set again, haven't you, Andrew?
Absolutely.
You get out into this pressure that's out near the Western Channel pile line. The best pressure of the day. Oh, Yandu's tacked. James Doran just standing up. There's not much wind at all. Crew in the boat.
Bit of a repeat of the first lap.
That's exactly what happened, Jimmy, wasn't it?
Yeah.
Got light here. Meanwhile, the Rag is storming up, but still very comfortable lead. Oh, he's missed it again, Yandu. Oh, dear. And there's the Rag tacking. He's got to get through all this soft air as well. Yandu just tacking now.
Well, and the Rag's got the advantage of watching and going, wow.
You've got to get out of there as quickly as you can, Yandu.
Yeah.
Jive and get over to this western shore. And that's what they're doing.
And the Rag will know to widen their lane line by another 10. Because the Yandu hardly moving at the top mark.
Yeah, still not in much wind at all. Further she gets away from the mark, the better pressure she'll have. But of course, the question is, how can she get away from the mark? Which she's just doing at very, very, very slow snail's pace. There, she's just a little puff there. So there's first and second. Yandu leading the Rag and Famish. So the Rag's still got a lot of work to do to get to this weather mark. She's tacking now, and it's very tricky. The further Yandu gets away from this mark, the better pressure she should get in on this western channel, western shore of the harbour.
Dol's doing his best impression of Woody sitting on the
Woody,
inner bar.
Sitting in. Well, she's just getting the pressure now. Well, so far so good for Yandu. What a performance this has been by James Doran, Fang Warren and Lewis Brake. They certainly have not put a foot wrong. Now they got 3 strings.
Dodds laying down in the bottom of the boat.
Oh, he's eight.
Thinks he's back in the Sabos, Shippo.
Yeah,
That's unusual posture, isn't it? Bit of Lee Napton about it as well.
There's the rag around now. What's it, about a minute and a half, is it? Or a bit more, perhaps?
Yeah, about 1:30, Pete.
Okay, we'll take it as that. So the rag has got to negotiate this soft pressure to get away from the mark. And meanwhile, Yandu is running hard on starboard, not at full wick, but 3 guys on the trapeze as Kobe in shot. Just trying to get themselves into the place getters. There's the kitchen maker. Lockie Steele and Jerome Watts and Ben Kirkby. They're having probably one of the better races of the year. Is just ahead of them is the Royal Oak. As there's the rag around with a black spinnaker on their way to Shark Island in a rather not a straight line, that's for sure. A lot of zig and zagging and jiving to get down to this island.
Come on now. Stay with rag. And again.
Balmain and 6th, just ahead of them is the Marine Outlet and Smeg.
Very close racing between those 4, isn't it?
Yeah.
Yeah, but have a conversation around the course.
Trying to get into the top 10. They're very close, 4 of them together. Back on the rag, they're one crew sitting in. Yandu in the background have jibed and running in on Port Jibe, laying down to the island. Further back in the fleet, I've got the rag is 2nd, and 3rd is the Royal Oak. Just ahead of Kobe. They've completely dropped off Andu, and although not in the race Finport, they went hard right, and that was a big loser for them. But meanwhile, we're back on the leader, comprehensive leader, Yandu. James Doran at the helm today, trying to cement a price for the next few races. He might have put a big price on his head here, Jimmy, I think.
He always has a big price on his head, Shippo.
Anyway, first class performance, no doubt about it. Tricky big sail day, but they've answered the challenge. Just laying beautifully down to the island now. There's the rag. She's rolled the dice a bit. She jibed very early, and now is going back out on starboard jibe. Just jibing back now. Probably a bit above the ley line, I would think. Just hoping for a bit more right hand in the breeze.
Well, just a little bit of a progressive header as they come across the harbour, Pete. So
yes, and certainly when they get down the side of the island, it will give them a bit of heading pressure, but to be hoped.
Well, plenty can happen, but the regular thing would be that it would be a little further forward, a little lighter. These guys don't need to push their luck though, do they? They've got,
No,
I think, end of 2 minutes up their sleeve.
can't see from the overhead. We'll see there, tiny rip in the spinnaker on the foot. Just see it, there it is.
Yep.
Nothing of any concern whatsoever.
I'd be more concerned about being that windsurfer in front,
Yeah, exactly.
in front of James Doran.
Ah. Lovely, they're just getting a bit of pressure now.
Yeah, a little bit more. Pretty nicely judged, Peter.
Excellent. Well, it's been their case all race, hasn't it? It's been a absolutely first class, master class, whatever you want to call it, performance by this crew.
What I'm worried about is Jimmy will be able to claim credit for teaching Dora all he knows.
Oh, we'll claim it.
Back in the day. He must have been a smaller chap back when you won the 16-footer nationals, mate.
Smaller, but always the smart ass. But it was, no, he came through the 13-foot skiffs and then into the 16s with us, and he was actually quite a lot smaller in size. But he's, he's still doing triathletes and things like that with his brother Charlie. So
Yeah, no, he's in good nick. I talked to him a bit about all that. And, good stuff. Wow, Pete, have a look now. Bow up, no wind.
Yeah.
Going into a big slab of no air. Then that's a byproduct of the hot water, really.
So he's just going to go try and get down and jibe and
Well, he's
get
high.
back on.
He can jibe now, the bow's not that
Yes.
far. So, breeze the northerly starting to fill in here again.
here they go for the jibe.
Wow. That's a light air jibe if I've ever seen one. And we're just watching Yandu trickle down to the jibe mark at Shark Island.
Yeah, he's got nice pressure there now.
0.8 of a mile to go, Peter.
And there's not much breeze between him and the finish, but it'll be enough to carry him to a very, very deserved victory, you would think. James Doran, of course, as I said earlier today, won the national titles back in 2018, 2019, steering ASCO appliances.
But 0.8 of a mile to go. And Your Majesty, where is the second place yacht?
Yes, it's a bit like that, isn't it?
Rags had to put in a little jibe
Yes,
to
they
get
were-
closer down to Shark Island behind
Yeah, they
us.
jibed early.
So they've kept trying, haven't they, Pete? You know, some little experiments.
Yep.
And I think they're on the right track here to go, you know, perhaps even a bit more officially than Yandu this last bit here.
Well, it's quite light around this area of the island, both to windward and leeward of it.
Geez, it's warm, isn't it?
Yes, here comes the Rag. We're back on port jibe.
In some northerly.
And the green chute belongs to the Royal Oak. The white chute is Andu, but oh no, that's the kitchen maker there. Wow.
Yeah, the kitchen maker.
Well, they've got in front of Andu. Gee, Finport and Andu, wow, they lost out big time the last two beats. So it looks like the battle is for third between Vycobi and the Royal Oak. Two young skippers, very young in case of Jacob Marks. He's only just 16. And Kirk Mitchell with his new sponsorship has done a good job. But meanwhile, all credit and full marks to the Yandu team. James Doran, Fang Warren and Lewis Brake. A stellar performance as Rag and Famish. Also a strong effort to get into second spot after their early problems. They capsized about 5 minutes before the start and then went the wrong way up the first beat. So they're off and running now on the Yandu, on their way to the finishing line. shot, boys and girls. Look at that. Fantastic. Right in the cockpit. We want to look at the outhaul sheet, boys. Is it in good order? We've got about 50 metres to go. And the second heat of the National Championship for the 18-footers goes to Yandu. James Doran, the skipper today, standing in for Woody. John Winning, Senior, just coming to the line now. Top marks. Yandu wins. So it gives them a first and a second in the first 2 heats of the national title. So a pretty good way to start this regatta. Can't be much better than that. So Yandu wins. You got a clock running, Andrew?
Several clocks.
Okay, got your Rolex going. Okay, well, we've heaped the praise on the Yandu, which I think has been very deserved. So they are across, and we're just waiting now for the flotilla of the place getters to come, and then a real group trying to get into the top 10. It's next to finish will be Rag and Famish, Harry Price, Josh McKnight and Finn Rodowitz. That's the Rag with the black spinnaker. Now, as they get away from Shark Island, there's plenty of wind to finish in, as we can see. But Yandu had good pressure, and now we're looking at the Rag. She's got excellent pressure. So Rag will finish with a second to go with a fifth in the first race. So second and fifth, pretty tidy. Remembering 6 heats, could drop your worst performance. Just doing it nicely, Harry Price here, just laying into the finish. He's a little lighter here for them. Job done. Yep, second to the Rag, and
About 2.5 minutes. Was the
2.5. Okay, well that's a pretty comprehensive victory. It's the race for third, but looks like the green spinnaker of the Royal Oak will probably get there, but the grey spinnaker belongs to McCovey. Wow. They both have to heat up for pressure here. The question will be, will they lay down to the finish, or will they have one more jive and in?
No, they look like they're going to get their VFG running, but not less wind than there was even 5 minutes ago. Just retreated back up the harbour to some degree. Like Kobe coming in hot. So Royal Oak will have to do a jibe.
Yes. Well, this will be interesting. If Kobe can... Well, she's going to have to bow up now too, I think. Yeah, they're both on parallel courses. Royal Oak just jibing now. Yeah, Kobe's going to run out of runway, I think. Yes.
Yeah, but he gets a second guess at Royal Oak jibe angle.
Yeah, but he's
basically lined up behind
yes,
it. So.
Yeah. So it'll be the Royal Oak Well, they sail very consistently and very well. Also, the Royal Oak. Kobe will come in fourth to go with their third, so they'll have a third and a fourth by Kobe. The Royal Oak, well, they didn't finish in the first race, so they're already counting their worst performance, so they've got a third today, so all their remaining races will count. So by Kobe, a third and a fourth, that's very, very good.
Two
Start
keepers.
the regatta.
Two keepers.
So the Royal Oak, Jacob Marks across third, Kirk Mitchell and Kobe fourth. Boy, look at Andu. Boy, have they lost out. So Kitchen Maker will be fifth, I think, here.
Yeah, good result for them. So they were saying that they were comfortable with their upwind speed, and I think it's their new spinnaker they've got there, which has got them downwind today pretty neatly.
Yep. Lachlan Steele, Jerome Watson, Ben Kirkby. Remembering that Finport are not going to be greeted by a hooter because they were over at the start.
Yep.
So, oh dear. So this will be their discard. Remembering they got reinstated after going for redress in the first race. Kitchen Maker across in fifth.
Yeah, pretty hard to get reinstated when a committee's decide your OCS after spending 45 minutes looking at the video.
Okay, Lachlan Steele, Jerome Watts, Ben Kirkby. Good job. Well done.
Yeah, great work, boys.
Best effort of the
It's awesome.
year.
Yep.
So Kitchen Maker fifth. Andu will be sixth.
You know, kind of unprecedented spot in the fleet for them.
Yes, they got lost the last two beats, really. I think their speed was good enough, their boat handling was good enough. It was just such a tricky day, and they both times went the wrong way. So that will round out a first and a sixth for Andu.
Seems to be a trend in this fleet of having holes in your spinnaker. You
Yes,
got a little
yeah.
one in Smeg and another one in Marine Outlet.
So Smeg comes in seventh. That's 2 sevenths for the regatta for her. Marine Outlet 8.
Right now, on a little improvement curve, I think Harry Hall and the bow certainly expected to lift the whole outfit.
Yeah. So John Cooley and the Marine Outlet team 8th to go with his first heat 9. Keeping firmly in the top 10. 9th will be
6.
6th, 9th. There.
And the poor old Balmain
Balmain, oh dear.
got squared up with no wind at Point Piper. Wow.
So Balmain trying to hang on to 10th.
Yeah.
Shaw and Partners, who went back at the start. Didn't they? They went back, I think.
They went back and
Yeah.
didn't have to go
Didn't
back,
have to go.
apparently. So
Well, we might hear a bit more about this, but anyway, Balmain trying to hold off Shaw and Partners for 10th.
Yeah, both of them back in a little bit of wind now, but Balmain will just jibe
Jibe on their bow.
cover off, I think.
Oh, I don't know. Shaw and Partners got some
Shaw-
wig turned up.
Yeah, sure, partner needs to just heat as much as they possibly
they need to go
can.
bow down here and
No?
maybe look at a little jibe and aim for the pin, possibly, but I don't think there's enough room.
There's
No.
there's no passing lane there, mate.
She's trying to go square.
I know what Emma was thinking, but not enough pressure to do it.
Balmain 10, Shaw and Partners 11. Next,
I mean, Shaw and Partners did quite a good job there of getting to the right side of the track, but
okay, well, we've got to wait for a few more to finish. So, Andrew, give us your thoughts on the day's event, which was won very clearly by Yandu with James Doran steering.
well, it's interesting times, isn't it, Pete? And the weather not atypical of what can occur in the Giltman. Hot water and tricky, shifty, spotty. You know, every beat a different story to some degree, and you would think that with Rag and Famish able to get from nearly fullback to back up to second, that tells you part of the story. Yandu is pretty good all day, and I think a fair bit of the fleet be having some looking in the mirror sessions, perhaps. By Kobe, pretty good job. And, you know, they like, on average, they're the number 3 boat as well, and certainly quite fast through the water in this big sail downrange-ish conditions. So plenty of challenges for some of the more established crews, also known as Finport and Andu.
Okay, as we're just watching the Burrawang come in 12th position, I think the thing that stood out was a couple of the young fellas. Vycobi, Kirk Mitchell has continued his very good form this year, and the Royal Oak, Jacob Marks to get in third in this fleet was a very good performance. But I think Yandu, boy, were they good all round the course today in course management, boat handling. They never really put a foot wrong. Andu will be disappointed with their performance. Of course, Finport over at the start, where their day was ruined before it began. And I'm just watching a couple of the next few to finish. Will be Lazarus in 13th, and 14th will be Fisher Paykel after their capsize. They're 14th, and in the distance we've got the 18-footers.
And then Noakes Red.
Noakes Red will round it out. So, just not that it means anything at this early stage, but Andu will have had a first and a sixth. Vycobi will have had a third and a fourth. Rag and Famish a second and a fifth. So, all got 7 points, those boats, but it's 4 more heats to go and you can discard your worst performance. So, it's been a very, very beautiful day on the harbour, probably a tricky day for the sailors. Never really stabilised the breeze in strength or direction. So it was a day, as we often say, of joining the dots, and Yandu, joined the dots better than anyone to be a clear winner of the second heat of the national titles, Australian Championships for the 18-footers. We'll be back next week, same time, same place, with the Sail Media team. We again thank them for their terrific work behind the scenes to get the photos and pictures to you, which I'm sure you've enjoyed as much as we have bringing them to you. So on behalf of that team and Jimmy Bury, our captain and commander, and Andrew Buckland, our weather guru, this is Peter Shipway signing off from Sydney Harbour, and look forward to your company next Sunday afternoon.